Hello, friends and adventurers. Welcome back to Secret Song Games. Now, one of the things I recently did is try to do an insane run of Drova. And I was honestly, I didn't know what to expect, to be completely honest. This is basic. I'm starting at the end of the fight. This is one of the most difficult fights in Drova you can ever attempt. It's difficult even on standard difficulty, but on insane, it's a whole new level of pain. It took 16 attempts to get it right. And, well, as you can see, it is doable. I wanted to upload it because I didn't find any videos on how to do it. So I'm going to try to explain what happens during the fight. So you have an idea on what to expect, what gear and what stuff you should bring. So for reference, my character is, at the end of this fight, it's level 28. I was level 27. I'm specialized into mind, and the main two spells you're gonna need is Fiery Shout. You can skip the Blaze entirely. You're gonna need Misty Step. You can use Wounds from time to time. You can use the Summon Obsidian Spear at the beginning. And the Thunderstorm is the MVP. It's the best spell you can cast during the fight. Now, let's start at the beginning. Let's go to the beginning of the fight, which is fairly easy, and see what we can expect. Okay, so the beginning of the fight, I prepared, as you can see, I prepared the terrain with a bunch of traps. Especially, you need a bunch of clustered traps near the golems to weaken them as much as possible. Now, the beginning of the fight is super easy. It's just 3 draugrs. They're more than doable. I precasted Thunderstorm, and now the golems are gonna jump into action. And as you can see, the left golem already took a bunch of damage. Now, at this point in the game, your main priority should be to kill the golems. Why? Because if you kill the draugrs before the golems, 2 more waves of draugrs are gonna resurrect. So your first focus should be on the golems. Now, as you can see, I'm using a bunch of items to restore my focus constantly. I have a bunch of health potions. You need to use the... you can use the normal health potions. You don't really need the potent ones. And as you can see, I almost died here because I was stuck. If you take way too much damage, your focus is going to go down and you cannot teleport away. Now, my strategy is simple. I'm just going to skirt around the battlefield as much as possible, using Misty Step while my focus slowly builds up. And when it builds up, I'm going to try to get some hits in against the golems. Now, the golems are our priority, as I said. Weaken them as much as possible during the fight, and you're going to be good. You're going to be solid. Now, it's a very hard fight. It takes about a quarter of an hour. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but this is about how much it took me. This phase, it might feel like it's the most difficult phase, but it's not. It's difficult because you have both draugrs and the golems. Once the golems are dealt with, another phase, this is the second phase. The third phase is going to be challenging, but the last one, the fourth phase, is going to be a nightmare. Now, we are playing on insane mode, which means we take extra damage, and we don't deal as much damage as we normally do on regular difficulty. Now, I'm constantly have to pay attention to how many focus potions I'm popping. I need to look at the timers, I need to look at my health. You need to look at the spells the enemies are casting. You need to remember to recast Thunderstorm every 60 seconds, because the Thunderstorm is really your main bread and butter during this fight. It's a challenging fight, but it is doable. Like, I really wanted to know if it was doable. I spent an entire day of trying to strategize and try different combos on how to do this one. After this fight, the next fight we're gonna do is another optional fight. The Divinity of the Gnawed Moor, which is a very difficult fight in itself. My main fear was that I would not have enough resources to actually handle both this fight and the Divinity of the Gnawed Moor. Now, keep in mind, I'm level 27 when I'm attempting this fight. And one of the mistakes I think I did during this fight was having my axe equipped, which lowers my movement speed by quite a lot. I should have unequipped my axe, stowed it away, so I could move faster on the battlefield. Now I'm trying to repop my thunderstorm spell. One of the golems is down, fortunately, and my I nearly died over here. Yeah, you can easily die if you stand still for more than a second and a half. You're gonna take a lot of damage. Now I'm trying to find a safe spot to cast a thunderstorm, and I did. And my worry is that the draugrs are gonna die before the golem dies, but fortunately he kicked the bucket. Now these 3 draugrs are super easy. Like 2 or 3 draugrs you can handle at once quite easily. So this was basically your second phase. Now this is the third phase. The third phase consists of 10 draugrs at once. And this is where the scary part actually begins. You think this was scary until now. Whoa, wait a second. So I popped an obsidian spear because I really need the focus. I want to basically precast another thunderstorm before these 2 die. Because after these 2 die, 10 draugrs are gonna spawn instantly. Specifically these ones on the left you're seeing right now. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is not an easy fight, as I said. You shouldn't feel bad if it takes you how many attempts you need to do it, because I was at the point of giving up. As you can see, one of the draugrs has already respawned, and one of the things I didn't realize during the fight, but I realize now in retrospect, they actually respawn based on proximity. So as you can see, the one on the upper right respawned when I came close to him. And the mistake I did here was going down, and once I go down, you're gonna see a bunch of them coming up at once. See? So I think the respawns are proximity based, which means that if you are careful enough, you can actually kill them in a certain strategic point, and you can only fight a few of them at once. And when you feel you have dealt with it enough, you can approach them and more are gonna resummon. So these are 10, I think. I haven't really counted. I'm pretty sure they're 10. Now at this point, I'm really scared because on my first few attempts, I actually managed to reach this phase. And I honestly thought this was the last phase because, as you can see, it's a very difficult and engaging fight. Okay, so I managed to pop a thunderstorm. I got greedy there. This is the thing with this fight. You need to discipline yourself to not get greedy with too many hits at once. Now I am trying to cast bleeds and fire breaths and all that jazz. Bleeds especially are probably the best you can cast during this fight besides thunderstorm. As many as you can get. But don't get too greedy. Like, if you feel like you're in danger of getting surrounded, don't worry. This is an endurance fight. This isn't about taking out enemies as fast as possible. It's about surviving and slowly but surely doing damage to all the enemies around you. As you can see, I almost got greedy there. Almost died again. And this fight, I think, is impossible without magic. I can't imagine doing it as a ranged fighter or as a slingshot fighter. Maybe you could do some damage with range just to regain some focus, but Misty Step and Thunderstorms, they're gonna be your main abilities. As you can see, that was just one fraction of a second, but my health went down to half. Things that you shouldn't do during this fight, by the way. I initially wanted to use Golem Ointments, so I could take less damage, but the thing is with Golem Ointments, you take more magical damage. And as you can see, most of the damage from this fight is actually of a magical nature. Those undead wizards in the back constantly do roots and nasty spells like that, and range spells, and a bunch of other abilities that basically equate to magical damage. And you're basically taking 40% more damage. And the moment I stopped doing using golem potions is where I finally felt like I could actually take on this fight. Now, needless to say, this is the sort of fight where you kind of want to be prepared in advance. And what I mean by that is that you want a bunch of traps, like all the traps you're saving up in the game and all the gold and all the materials you can buy. make as many traps as possible. One of the things I made a mistake during this fight because I initially plopped down a bunch of what are they called? Those crow's feet that do bleed damage. And I saved the game, and when I loaded the game, the crow's feet vanished. So apparently, if you save the game and load the game, or leave the area and come back, the crow's feet are gonna disappear. The rest of the traps are gonna stay. But my mistake was investing a bunch of iron basically in crow's feet. Now the issue is I'm part of the remnants right now in this playthrough, which means I cannot access Nemeton. And I went to all the vendors, I still have gold, but I have no more materials to buy. So no more materials to make potions, no more materials to make any more traps, and we still have the divinity of the Nod more to fight as well. And this is an issue for me because I really hope I can actually handle the divinity. The issue with the divinity is that you're gonna see it in a different episode, but what it's basically gonna do, all our healing spells and effects are gonna be down to 35%. So if normally you'd drink a potion that heal you for, let's say, 70 hit points, you're gonna only take 35% of that healing. And that is another difficult fight. It's also a fight in 3 phases. It's a pretty challenging one. And now this is the hardest part of this fight because you're already mentally exhausted from dodging so many hits, so many abilities the enemies have. And this is the last phase. This is phase 4, where 12 of them spawn at once. They all get up at once and manage to get the thunderstorm up. And this is where I paused the game because I was mentally, my nerves were shot during this fight. Let's advance a bit. I needed a minute to drink some water and catch my breath because this was a very difficult fight. You have to keep in mind, this was my 16th attempt. It took me an entire day. This was an entire day filled with frustration. Oh boy, and this is what I was super scared because I knew that one small mistake, if they catch me in a corner, if I take too much damage at once, my focus is gonna go down and I will not be able to teleport away. That's the issue with this fight. Teleporting. Take too much damage, and as you can see, your focus quickly goes down super fast. Take too much damage at once and you're basically dead, and you have to restart the fight. This is a one-shot fight. You cannot save the game during the fight. That's the thing. And this is on a, I repeat, this is on an insane playthrough. It's not an insane hardcore playthrough. If I ever do a hardcore playthrough, I'm gonna do it on the easiest difficulty possible because, trust me, on insane, I've died so many freaking times. This is an insane iron, by the way, which means that I'm limited to 2 saves. It's basically 2 auto saves once every few minutes, outside of combat, of course. Now this is the point in the fight where I'm struggling to make a split-second decision. Specifically, how many potions do I want to save? Because I know that I have 2 more difficult fights ahead of me. One is the divinity in the Nod More, and another is a temple to Butes, the god of war. Now this is where they almost caught me. I took a lot of damage during that fight, and I think I used up how many healing potions did I use up? I think I used up too many during that fight. So I used up. Okay, so I got greedy with the bleed effect. This was my mistake. Okay, so if you press F, for example, in my case, where the healing potions are binded right now, you can actually waste a lot of healing potions. You can actually drink 3 or 4 healing potions at once. So you actually have to be careful when you mash your keyboard. This is the sort of fight where you have to be very delicate with your actions. You have to be fast but delicate. Now this is where I'm struggling to find a safe spot to repop my thunderstorm. I'm super scared because I need to use the Misty Step. I made a split-second decision over there not to use the thunderstorm there. And I'm gonna use it here where I feel pretty safe right now. Okay. As you can see, I'm using my keyboard buttons to switch between abilities. I put Misty Step on 1. Because if I use the bar, the action circle, whatever it's called, you are gonna take damage. That's the issue. Time is slowed down, but you are still gonna take damage. And as I said, it only takes a split second for the enemy to actually catch you. And once they catch you, once they root you to the spot, and as you can see, they do. This is where I crap my pants, by the way. I thought I was dead over here. Smashing buttons like crazy. I'm preemptively popping a healing potion. I know it's a waste, but I'm terrified. Like, I know I'm terrified during this fight. But this is basically the entire strategy I employed. So basically, skirt around the battlefield using Misty Step. Whenever you feel confident, pop a Thunderstorm. So the enemy slowly but surely takes damage. You basically need to slowly grind them down, while always being on the move. So never stop. Never stop more than a second, what it takes to cast a spell or whatever. You won't be able to cast healing spells. There is also a healing spell in the game you can get. Because that specific cast takes about 2 seconds. This fight is not going to allow you 2 seconds, so you need to employ only the spells and abilities that are instant, basically, like Bleed, Thunderstorm, Misty Step. Avoid anything that requires more than a second of animation. So this is basically the fight. This is what I'm beginning to feel confident because most of the enemies are dead. I see that there are only 3 left, so I get a bit cocky. And I can now feel safe enough to start using bleeds, start engaging them in melee. And this is basically the end of the fight. And trust me, it's you shouldn't feel bad if this is an entirely optional fight, so you shouldn't feel like you have to do it. I simply chose to do it because I was curious if it was even possible. I didn't see a video of it so far on YouTube, so I thought I should make one. And man, this fight is it's nerve-breaking, it's nerve-wracking. And this is basically the end of the fight. As you can see, I'm basically screaming in my room right now. My cats are looking at me strangely. Pretty sure the neighbor is gonna knock on my door to see if I'm okay, but this is the fight. We're level 28 right now, and we still have 2 more difficult fights ahead of us. It's the Divinity of the Nod More, and I'm gonna also record the Buta's arena fight. I haven't even done the arena fights in the Remnant camp by this point. I was actually curious if this was even possible. The arena fights are gonna be super easy by comparison. Now, the Divinity of the Nodmore is going to be scary because it's going to use up most of my healing potions, but fortunately, I still have a bunch of focus potions, so I'm super happy about that. Also, food-wise, you want to choose a food that is very, has a lot of longevity. I chose the food, can't remember what it was called, something with cave, I think, cave stew, which basically heals you for 300 total hit points. Okay, so this is basically the end. And let's skip until the the beginning again. And yeah, this is the fight. So as you can see, it's doable. I wanted to upload it basically just to show people that the fight is possible. It's possible on Insane, but it takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of attempts. I'm specialized into the axe skill, and most of my points are spent into mind. Well, what can I say? If you wanna do this fight, good luck. Don't feel bad if it feels impossible at first. Basically, you need a lot of resources. You need to prepare ahead of time, like at the beginning of a new playthrough is what I mean. If you want to attempt an insane playthrough, try to avoid using any of the healing potions, any traps during the game. and buy for whatever faction you choose, whether it's the Remnants or Nemeton. Before you actually choose one of them, especially if you choose the Remnants, try to buy everything you need from Nemeton ahead of time, because you're going to end up with more money and you're going to feel like you need resources and you can't buy them because the other faction basically hates you. So yeah, that's the gist of it. So good luck. Thank you guys. And as always, remember, the most important story in the world is your own. Cheers, guys and gals, and until next we meet.